Hi there, and thank you for joining for today's live reading of It Comes From Within by Naomi Valkyrie, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Xenobia. A new blood den? In disbelief, I look at Ezra for confirmation. Yes, Chai has been hearing rumors for several weeks now. He hasn't found out the location or the parties involved yet, but whoever it is using the House Muerte name. Sighing, I rub my forehead. This situation is just one more thing to add to the ever growing list of shit that I have to deal with. You would think being the head of a powerful supernatural organization would be full of perks. I'm finding it to be more migraine inducing than anything else. If I were human, I'd fear high blood pressure from the stress. We need to set up a meeting to discuss how we will go about dealing with the situation. Matthew may want to take this information to the conclave. I don't understand how all of that works yet, but surely the conclave would want to know someone is still trying to use the House Muerte name. Perhaps, but I've learned that the conclave doesn't always do what you'd expect. They have their own way of thinking about things. I agree that we should call a meeting regardless. Ezra gets up to leave, but his hand pauses on the doorknob. Is there something else, Ezra? Yes, but it is more of a personal question. I motion for him to continue. I was wondering, do the companions have personal romantic relationships? I'm thinking about asking Maggie out on a date, but I'm not sure how she would feel about it. I think a few of them have tried, but it comes with challenges. A lot of men can't get past what they do for a living. The girls aren't willing to give up their income source. You know what type of situations they came out of. They refuse to give up the independence they've gained. I understand. I know what I'd be getting into. If you pursue this, Ezra, don't hurt Maggie. She deserves the best. Nodding in agreement, Ezra says, let me know the meeting time. Will do. Leaning back in my chair, I close my eyes. I'm so exhausted from dealing with life, and the last 6 months have been pure hell. I seriously need a break. Chapter 2, Ezra. As I leave Zen's office, I feel a sense of relief. She didn't give me a hard time about Maggie. I know how protective she is of the girls, Maggie in particular. It's been a long time since I've been in any kind of relationship. Being Chai's conduit makes getting close to someone challenging. Few people want to share me with another consciousness. It's extremely awkward if you're being physically intimate with me and all of a sudden a different set of eyes are looking back at you. It's uncomfortable for Chai, too. A less scrupulous person might have taken advantage of the situation, but Chai would rather avoid it altogether. I have no idea how Maggie will respond to my advances, but if I'm reading her correctly, she's interested. I just hope we can make it work. Any concerns I have will have to wait, though. My priority right now is keeping my eyes and ears open for any information Chai can use to track down this underground blood den. Chapter 3, Xenobia. Once Ezra leaves, I put myself in a timeout and send myself to my room. Our new place is like a small house. Once I took over House Muerte, we took up living quarters at the hotel, now called Hotel Valdis, in addition to the ones at Valdis Manor in the country. The girls still see clients at the country house because I don't want our human clients in a hotel full of paranormals. The bed is calling my name. Onyx and Matthew are out somewhere, no doubt acting like two teenage fools in love. I finally have some time to myself. That happens so rarely these days. With the mind link and all the internal house restructuring, it's a wonder I haven't gone mad from lack of solitude. I yank the covers over my head and let myself drift off. Hours later, I'm awakened by the prickling sensation that someone is in the room with me. Opening my eyes, I startle when Chai steps out of the corner shadow. Christ, don't sneak up on me like that. When did you get here? Chai sits on the bed next to me. I've been here for about 30 minutes. I didn't want to wake you up. I didn't mind waiting. I'm more awake now, and I notice that Chai is shirtless, with his wings on full display. I don't know when I'll get used to the fact that he can fly. Zen? Huh? What? Oh, yeah, 30 minutes. I know what's going on. Really, I do. This man is such a distraction, though. So you were just standing there watching me sleep for half an hour? Yes. You know that creeps me out. Why didn't you just lay down with me until I woke up? He raises an eyebrow. What? I'm getting better about not pushing people away, I say. I might be slightly defensive, just a little. I really have been trying. There are only so many people I can trust, and I have to learn how to let them stay close to me. Sensing a heated discussion coming on, Chai changes the subject. Chai and I rarely argue. Unlike Matthew and Onyx, Chai seems to pick his battles. I understand Ezra spoke with you about Maggie. Yeah, I hope it works out for them. There are several issues that could complicate their relationship. Ezra has been with me for a long time. He's sacrificed a lot of personal freedom to assist me. It's time for him to have something for himself. Chai pauses like he is contemplating his next words. I would like to release him from his agreement with me, but if I do, he'll die. The illness that was killing him when I met him will kick back in once our link breaks, which leads me to my next question. He pauses again. I've never seen Chai so nervous before, but he seems to struggle with this. It must be a doozy of a question if it's getting my usually unflappable guardian worked up. If I remove the link between Ezra and me, would you give him your blood as you did with the girls? Well, I certainly wasn't expecting that. You know there is always the risk that it won't work. How many times are we going to use my blood as a magic fix-all before we run across a situation where it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, I can link us back together. It isn't like he would die immediately, and he would have some time to reintegrate. He pauses again, then looks me straight in the eyes. There's one more part of this. I'll need a new conduit. I'd like that to be you. Oh, hell. Can I put one more person in my head? Matthew, Onyx, and I are still mastering the mind link. I don't know if I can handle another one. Chai, I honestly don't know if I can. I'm already feeling crowded as it is. There's a lot of pressure on me right now. It isn't the best time to go tinkering around with my head. I immediately feel his disappointment. Very well. Can we at least give Ezra your blood? I will look for another candidate for my conduit. The idea of someone else tied to Chai makes a knot form in my stomach. I don't want him to choose anyone else, but I don't think I can handle any more change right now. Chapter 4, Chimica. From my vantage point on the hotel roof, I observe the comings and goings of the house members. I am certain that some of them are involved in the new blood den that's popped up. It has been harder than I expected to track down its location. Vampires are stealthy and cunning, so I always expect a challenge, but this is proving to be quite the puzzle. My mind wanders to Zen's rejection of joining with me. I know she's under a lot of pressure, but I didn't expect her refusal to feel this intense. Technically, I guess she didn't say no, more like not now, so there's some hope. I want to feel as connected to her as Matthew and Onyx are. The draw of guardianship is more impersonal, and I want to be very up close and personal with her. I'm so consumed with my thoughts that I almost miss Audrey slipping out of one of the side doors and into the shadows. For someone so experienced, it's such a rookie mistake to let my mind deviate from the mission. I let Audrey get ahead before I let my wings propel me into the air. Audrey was one of Cage's favorites. I doubt she's taken the loss of her privileged status well. It's plausible, likely even, that she knows something about the Blood Den. Hell, she might even be running it. She ran the one that Cage hosted at the hotel, so she knows the ins and outs of how it works. Instead of making use of her enhanced speed, Audrey is walking slow enough to pass for human, making it easier for me to keep up with her. I realize she's heading to the outer edge of the city, toward the industrial area. It makes sense that a blood den could be set up here with it being out of the usual city traffic routes. The general public wouldn't have a reason to frequent the area. Still, I've already searched this area and there had been no sign of one. Once we get further outside of the city noise, I drop down to pursue her on foot. There are more places for me to hide on the ground. It seems like my decision was well timed, because Audrey stops as if she's listening for something. She must decide that whatever she thought she heard isn't threatening, because she finally continues on her way. When we get to the first row of warehouses, Audrey stops at the door of the building on the end and knocks. A man I recognize answers, but doesn't invite her inside. Atias. I should have known. Cage's favorite and Javier's right-hand man conspiring together. I finally have something to go on. After the incident with Kelly, Atias had gone off grid. No one was sure what happened to him. Apparently, he'd just been biding his time until everything aligned for him to make a move. With all of the chaos of the house change, he slipped past our notice. Not anymore, though. Now that I've physically seen him, I will pursue this diligently and take him down. House Valdis sets the tone for the supernaturals in the former House Muerte territories now, and Zen will not allow a lot of the previously accepted practices to continue. Keeping silent, I creep closer to where Audrey and Atias are talking. I want out, Atias. I don't think so. I need your contribution to keep this operation going. You were all about it when we originally started this. What changed? I've had time to see what it's like to have the leader of a house actually give a shit. Oh, you suddenly grew a conscience. How cute. Too bad I haven't. With lightning fast reflexes, Audrey grabs Atias by the shirt and snarls in his face. Rein yourself in, bitch. If anything happens to me, you're dead, and you know it. You're in this whether you want to be or not. There is no out. Audrey shoves him away. This isn't over, Atias. Atias slams the door and Audrey heads back the way she came. I hang around for another 30 minutes to see if I can get anything more, but all is quiet. I need to take this new intel back to Zen. We need to decide whether we will confront Audrey or whether it will be more beneficial to follow her under the radar. Chapter 5, Xenobia. Let's follow her and see where it leads us. I think this is the best course of action for now. If Audrey is involved in the unsanctioned blood den, she can lead us to information we need to shut it down. Meanwhile, I need you to go replace house marks on these people, I say, handing Chai a list of names. The transition has been a slow process. I've tried to give as much choice as I can to the former House Muerte members. I won't force them to join House Valdis. They can join one of the satellite houses or go out on their own. The one choice I won't give is for anyone to keep the House Muerte mark. Cage and his reign of terror are over. Unfortunately, some former House Muerte members have a taste for Cage's brand of leadership. That's why it's so important that we shut the blood den down quickly. I need to prove that I'm serious about cleaning things up and shut down any idea that encourages dissension in the house. The most serious threat to power always comes from within. Chai looks at the list of a dozen names. This will take me at least 2 weeks. You know the remarking process is energy intensive since I'm not starting from a clean slate. I have to unweave the magic of the original mark before weaving the fresh one. Apparently, a remarking is almost unheard of and takes a lot of work to do. Still, I've made my decision and I won't go back on it. House Muerte has to dissolve permanently. I'll ask Matthew and Onyx to help you keep tabs on Audrey. The remarking is a top priority too. He nods and turns to leave. Stopping right before stepping into the hallway, he asks, "Have you thought any more about what we talked about?" I know he's referring to the whole conduit thing. Honestly, I've tried not to think about it. Saying yes to it feels overwhelming. Saying no to it makes me feel guilty. Please don't ask me about that right now. He leaves without even a backward glance. Out of all of the people in my life, his silence hurts me the most. The worst part is, I know I'm the one doing this to myself with my indecision. Chapter 6, Chimika. I want to tell Zen why this is so important to me. I want to tell her everything, but I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why she doesn't remember, but I want her to so badly. I'm afraid if I tell her now, she will think I'm trying to influence her decision. I need her to keep her trust in me. I can't help but wonder when it all comes out, will she think I lied to her? It feels like there is no good answer to this issue, so I will keep moving forward as is. I look at the list in my hand, trying to decide whether I have enough time to start the process tonight or whether I should wait until tomorrow night. Fuck it, I'm waiting until tomorrow. My focus is all over the place right now. I can't afford to make a mistake weaving the magic. Chapter 7, Ezra. I sit across from Maggie, hoping that I don't make a fool of myself. It's our first official date. I haven't dated in so long that I hope I haven't forgotten how. Chai seemed withdrawn when he went down for the day. I feel confident that he won't need me to relay any messages. That would be one surefire way to make a horrible impression on Maggie. I know she understands my connection to Chai, but I still need to show her I'm serious about building a relationship with her. I'd rather not get a work call our first time out together. I hope you like the food here. I hear their burgers are amazing. I wouldn't know personally, but Zen told me that Maggie has a weakness for a good burger and fries. I'm vegetarian, so I'll be checking out the salads or pasta. Maggie looks up from the menu in front of her with a considering expression. You talked to Zen, didn't you? I can feel the heat creeping up my neck. Guilty. She snickers quietly, then says, You must be at least halfway serious about this if you investigated my favorite food. I relax a little since it doesn't appear that she's upset about me involving Zen and planning our date. I'm extremely serious about this. She gazes into my eyes for a minute. I believe you are. Ever since the women of House Valdis took Zen's blood, they've all developed some degree of empathic ability besides their other powers. It's unnerving at times, but it comes in handy too, like now. I need not convince Maggie of what I'm feeling, she can sense it to some degree. I don't know exactly how powerful her empathic ability is, but it must be enough that she trusts that I'm telling the truth. Lunch goes smoothly. Maggie is every bit the fascinating woman I knew she would be. As we wrap up dessert, Maggie says, I've had a wonderful time, Ezra, but we've sort of danced around the hard subjects. I'd rather have waited, but I guess it's probably better to get it all out in the open now. Which do you want to start with? The whole channeling chai thing or your profession? I'll let her choose where to start this crazy train. Let's start with the channeling chai thing. You know, I understand that you have a responsibility to him. We can work around it with some ground rules. I know Chai will respect the boundaries we put in place. I trust him. I'm not worried about it. Over time, it could put a strain on feelings. It could, and I can't say how I will feel about it in the future. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that you can only plan so much. Everything else you just have to take one day at a time. I'm willing to at least try. Okay, I must take her at her word for now. I'd regret it later if I didn't take the chance at this opportunity. Reversing this, you know I don't care about you being a companion. You didn't hide it from me. I've known from the beginning, and it hasn't affected the feelings or the respect I have for you. I've talked to Zen about retiring. I fully plan on it. But even if I'm not actively seeing other men, some of my former clients will no doubt go to the other girls. They'll be around. You will constantly be reminded of who I've been with. Are you going to be able to handle that on a daily basis? There may be days I handle it better than others. I won't promise I'll never get upset or feel jealous because we both know it is human nature to have insecurity sometimes. What I will promise is that I will always make my best effort to keep our relationship the priority and not let myself get lost in destructive emotions. I feel like we've reached an unspoken agreement, but I want to hear the words. So, you want to do this? Yeah, she smiles. Let's do it. Let's make it official.